I'm pregnant! Okay, so some of you might already know this. I did make a post on my Instagram a couple months ago, and I've been talking about it in my lives and a little bit in my videos. But in case you didn't, Joey and I are expecting a little baby in March, actually a day before my birthday. So I am hoping for a birthday baby, but, you know, out of our control. I just wanted to make a video and kind of talk about what to expect and what is going to change for Line Around Sewing because of this new bundle of joy that's coming into our lives, because I know it's going to be a pretty big change for both of us. And I want to start off this video with saying I'm very thankful. I'm very happy. More than having my own business and working from home and just being able to have that goal and doing it, the ultimate goal in my life was to be a mom, and I'm so happy to be able to be one. And I hope that everything goes good and it's a healthy pregnancy and birth and everything. And thank you guys for all the congratulations and the well wishes. I really appreciate that. But yes, we're super thankful. This is what I've wanted my whole life, is to be a mom. So I'm so excited that that wish gets to come true. But I do understand that Line Around Sewing is going to have to take a back seat for a little bit. And it's not going to be, I say a little bit, for the rest of my life. My children and my husband are going to come first. But Line Around Sewing is still going to be here, and I'm still going to give it my all. I'm just going to have some time to recoup every once in a while. I don't want this to be a big, pregnancy video. I'm not going to go through my symptoms. I might mention them, but I don't want my channel to turn into a mom vlogging day in the life of a stay-at-home mom. I love those videos. I used to watch them all the time in college, and I did think that I would make my own channel for that when I had a kid, but I love this channel too much now to start another one and try to change my whole thing. So still gonna be sewing. We are just going to probably have a little bit more tutorials than convention videos, and of course I'm gonna talk a little bit more about our family, and we'll probably have some videos where we go out and do stuff. And our little con family, you know, we're gonna do matching cosplays. I'm probably gonna make more nerdy baby stuff that is cute and adorable, but it's not gonna change the whole thing, just a little bit here and there. And I know that I am not the first mom to do conventions. I know I'm not the first person to do this pregnant and travel to conventions and take babies to conventions and all that. And I do know there's restrictions for some of that, so, you know, we'll get into that. I also know I'm not going to be the last. So if this video helps people in the future who just found out that they're pregnant and are like, am I going to be able to do this convention 7 months pregnant or 8 months pregnant? I'm here with you. That's what I'm trying to figure out now too. So stay along. Here's my thoughts. It's gonna be a chatty vlog. I will try to include some pictures and things here and there to keep your attention, keep things seen other than my face. But yeah, it is gonna be chatty because I do have a lot to say. And I'm still learning a lot of stuff too. So if you guys have any tips or anything, let me know. Drop them in the comments. Message me on Instagram. I'll take whatever you got. All right, so I'm going to break this up a little bit. The first thing we're going to talk about is the first trimester, which I'm already done with, thankfully. Oh my gosh. That was a struggle. I've talked to a lot of people who now are like, how are you feeling? Are you feeling better? And I'm like, yes. Because the first trimester, I didn't want to do anything. And I thought if it was going to be the whole pregnancy like this, I don't know if I will have another kid. And if you know me, I was very set on not having just one kid. I wanted at least two because I wanted them to have a friend. But at that point, I was like, we will adopt, we will foster. I don't know if I can do this. But we made it through, and as of right now, I do still want another kid, even though this one's not out yet. But it was just the constant nausea. I never threw up, but the morning sickness, which is not in the morning, and almost like a depression type, because I felt so awful. I didn't want to do anything. And you would think like, oh, you just want to sleep all the time. I was tired, but I didn't want to sleep. I really just wanted to sit on the couch and like stare and like, I guess, dissociate, if you want to explain it that way. I just didn't feel like doing anything. I wasn't motivated to do anything. And so that's why I started working more at my stepdad's shop, where at least I had to be obligated to leave the house, answer the phone, answer questions, like do stuff, and I'm still getting paid. Because otherwise, I don't think we wouldn't have had a lot of money for those first couple of months, because in my part, Joey was still working. But for me, bringing in my part of the income, I wasn't making anything. I think at that time, I had just done the pony convention, because we actually, I found out right before Trotcon, and I'll try to include, we'll include it right here. While we're on the subject, first trimester at Trotcon, here is Joey's reaction. It's not very long because I didn't want it to get too personal, but Joey's reaction to the baby.
Okay, you can open it. I'm gonna open up.
I get every year.
Not every year, but it's like my go-to gift for you. But it was cute.
Pokemon cards?
Yeah.
When did you get these?
Walmart? Yeah, before I left.
How much were they?
They actually weren't that expensive. I think one of them was like 10.
What is this?
That's part of it.
Is it?
Mhm. I think that's it. The big box was like
This isn't Pokemon cards.
15, and the other one was like 11.
What is this?
Look at it.
What the fuck is this? You're joking.
No. I thought maybe you knew.
You're joking. Stop.
Look at it. Open it up. Open up the mouth.
Wasn't that so cute? I love him so much. I'm so excited to see the great dad that he's gonna be. But yes, that was Trotcon. So I was like 4 weeks pregnant, so it didn't really affect anything other than I was really happy. And honestly, if I didn't have that joy that had happened, I probably would have liked Trotcon even less, because it was a long drive. I didn't make a whole lot. The table wasn't too bad, but the hotel is what got me, because I did a room block that I thought would be cheaper, but honestly, if I just stayed like 15 minutes or so away, I would have had a significant less profit loss. I would have had more profit, is what I was saying. We also did a couple of little events. We did a little library convention, which was right down the road, and that was the first time where I'm like, I feel out of breath. But luckily, I had Joey for that one. I also had Possum Fest, which I had Joey for as well. That one went pretty good. I think the big thing is just prepping for this conventions. I honestly did not take a whole lot of time to prep, so whatever inventory I had is what I had. Anime Inc. was my first 3-day while pregnant, and this one actually wasn't too bad because I did have Joey with me and I was able to sit the whole time. And since we had the big table layout, I wasn't squished, and I just played on my embroidery machine the whole time. So it was fun. It was long hours, but since I could sit, and because we had friends that I could talk to and Joey was there and my embroidery machine, it passed pretty fast. The only, I think, negative thing was I wasn't able to get a tattoo because they don't recommend you get tattoos while you're pregnant. So, of course, I didn't get a tattoo. But Joey did. And then, yeah, so far we've had a couple of other, like, little town events. And then, of course, I had Danville. And we just did Omnicon, which the video should go up soon for that. Yeah, that's in the second trimester, because we are in the second trimester now. That was the first trimester. We made it through. Didn't like it. Hard on my mental health. That's the summary. One other thing in the first trimester that was supposed to happen was Otakon. I got into Otakon before I knew I was pregnant. I applied before I knew I was pregnant. I got in before I knew I was pregnant and paid. I think it was like $350. And this was a huge dilemma. I talked about it in one of my lives. It says, like, I'm not going to Otakon. I didn't explain why, just that some personal things came up, but I think I explained it later on in a couple of videos or in my live. But the reason was because I was pregnant, and Joey wasn't going to get to come because it was in Washington, D.C., and we were going to have to leave on a Thursday, and he doesn't have a lot of time with his job right now, so it was just going to be me. I know I had some friends that could have helped me, but I was more concerned about, I think, like the 8 or 9 hour drive by myself, and prepping. Because like I said, I didn't want to do anything. And this was a really big convention. So I needed to prep a lot. I needed to prep appas, I needed to prep hats, I needed to prep big plushies, and I really didn't have anything at this point, because the time that I was going to spend prepping was taken over with, like, feeling like crap. So I made the hard decision. I think it was like a week before, because I think I had Trotcon, and then I think I had one weekend, and then the next weekend was Otakon. So basically, when I got home from Trotcon, because we found out, I was like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I'm going to be puking my guts out or be able to even leave the house. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sit in a car for that long. And I didn't want to risk it and, like, I don't know, just be disappointed in myself. Like, I didn't want to beat up myself for things that were out of my control. So I decided it was probably better to just cancel my table. I knew I wasn't going to get a refund, but at least that is the minimum amount of money that I could have lost, the $350, because if I went, I would have had to pay for hotel. Luckily, I didn't have a hotel booked yet. I was going to stay with Easy Breezy Draws, and they had one that they had extra space, but they were going to split it anyways. So thankfully, they were very understanding to not have the extra split. But I think everything was okay with that. But luckily, I didn't have a hotel that I already paid for. If I did, I probably would have went, because I think I could have at least made my table and my hotel back. But yeah, just at least I knew I was only losing that $350, because if I had went and paid for hotel and paid for gas and then paid for food and I just, like, ran out of inventory, I was kind of screwed. So that was the hard decision. I definitely had FOMO, and it definitely hurt me, because I know that this is a big, like, hurt me emotionally. They were very understanding, but I know that this was a big event, and it's really hard to get into, because I did make it off the lottery. I didn't do the, like, first come, first serve. I got pulled from the lottery, and I don't know if that'll ever happen again, but I'm telling myself that it will, and that there's more Otakons, and there's more conventions in general. But something that you guys may struggle with if you get pregnant in the future and have already applied for conventions. So second trimester, which is where we're at now, I am 6 months. I believe I'm 23 weeks, almost 24. Let me look up when the second trimester starts again, because I forgot. Second trimester, 13 to 28 weeks. So we still have a little bit more ways to go in the second trimester. I don't have a whole lot to say about the second trimester, other than the baby is showing. I'm getting bigger and even more out of breath, and it's tiring, but it's still doable. I definitely would prefer to have help at conventions, but I'm feeling much more motivated. I feel like I can do so much, and because I was feeling awful in the first trimester, and I'm feeling so much better now, I'm like, let me do more. Now I'm like, I don't want to work at the shop. I want to work here, and I want to be here. at home and doing all this stuff. I haven't got into nesting yet. We finally moved the baby's crib into the gaming room and moved some of our gaming room stuff out, but haven't got into nesting yet. But I have got into, I want to prep as much as I can before this baby comes. So yes, I've just experienced loadout while pregnant, and it's been the worst that it's been yet. Usually I have Joey to help me, and I'm very fortunate, very happy with that. But some of these smaller ones that are only like an hour or so away, I'm like, I know people there. They can help me if I'm struggling. Especially this one that I just did at Omnicon. They have so many volunteers, so I can be like, hi, I'm done. Can you take this stuff to my car while I go move my car around? Which is exactly what I did. But breakdown usually takes about 30 minutes. I definitely have to take more time because my back is like killing me. It's like I've been just sitting like straight up and down all day long, and you know how your back just tightens and you're like, oh, I need to release. That's what it was like after maybe 5 minutes, and I wasn't even like doing anything special. It had to be from like reaching up, pulling stuff down, putting it in the bag, and like just doing that repetitively is all that I can think of, because setting up I don't have any trouble. And that, I'm assuming, is because I can take my time. It takes me like 2 hours, and lots of that is me taking a break, looking at the display, do I like this, and just taking my time. But breakdown, because it's just so fast, I think, it is hard on pregnant mama's body, okay? So keep that in mind if you might have to go through that in the future. So I'll get more into this in the 3rd trimester, what to expect, or what I'm assuming I'm going to expect. But I plan to not do it on my own anymore, actually, I think. So another thing that happened, this probably happened 2 weeks ago. I got an email that I got into Magfest, which is in January, and it is one of the biggest gaming, I guess. Magfest stands for Music Anime Gaming, and it is located in the same place that Katsucon is at in Maryland. I've been applying, not as long as some people, but I think for me, since I've known about it, I've been applying for 3 years now. And this year, I got off the wait list. So this year I was like, I'm not, they told me I was waitlisted. But I got off the wait list. And I was like, seriously? Again, out of their control, out of my control. I definitely did get really emotional. Luckily, Joey and Allie were here. And I basically, I came in there, because I was applying to OMG Con, actually. I came in there and I was like, I need you guys to tell me I can't go. I was like, I got into Magfest. I was like, and explaining, because Allie doesn't know as much about which conventions are really good. I was like, this is a really good convention. Like, could potentially be 5 digits. Really good convention. But I need you guys to tell me that I can't do it. Okay? Because I'm gonna try to convince myself that I can, and it's not gonna be good. Because January, that makes me 7 months pregnant. I guess it'd be closer to like 8, depending on the timeline. But 8 months pregnant, driving that whole way, because I'm gonna have to drive, because you're getting close to where they won't let you fly, or they tell you you're not supposed to fly. But also just to take all my stuff, I'm gonna want to drive. Joey's not gonna be able to go with me because of work. The only positive thing was that Allie, they live like 2 hours away. So she was like, I can come help you if you want. And I was like, I appreciate it, but like, I can't. I know you want to help me, and I know you can help me, but for me, mentally, that would be me prepping for Magfest, Megacon, and then Lexington Comic Con, which we'll get into later. which is kind of what I did this year. I prepped for Katsu, Megacon, and LCTC, and I wasn't pregnant. And that was a struggle. I keep trying to prep like I can just reorder everything like some businesses, but I can't. I have to remake most of my stuff. So I gotta remember, I can't really do a convention a month. It's very hard for me to successfully do a convention a month with what I have. So, and Joey was very supportive because he was like, we can do it. I'll get off work. We can make it work. I'll fly down later. And I was like, no, I just need you guys to tell me that I'm going to be too much pregnant and I'm going to be too mentally drained. And that's not going to be healthy for me or the baby. So I sat on it for like 2 or 3 days and like slept on it. And I still decided that there would be more Magfests and we would try again and that it just didn't need to happen because we were also going to be up for the baby shower the weekend like after. So my other thought was like, oh, well, maybe I can fly up, do the convention, and I'll stay for a week and we'll do the baby shower. But that would be a whole week that I wouldn't get the prep stuff. And a whole week away from Joey and the dogs. And I was just like, no, that's too much. Like, maybe if we didn't have the baby shower, but because we're doing a Delaware baby shower. Yes, I got into Magfest, but I had to deny. And they were very understanding, too, because I told them, I was like, please consider me for the next convention. I'm really grateful and appreciative, but I can't physically make it right now because of the baby and how pregnant I will be. 3rd trimester. Now, because I'm not in this yet, I can't speak of what it's going to be like, but I can speak of what my plans are, and then maybe in the comments, I'll talk about when it actually gets there, what it was and what it looked like. But I'm sure I'll do another recap vlog, especially the new year. I usually do a whole big year recap, so I'm sure I'll talk about it in there too. But for the 3rd trimester, this is going to be basically beginning of the year. January, February, March. A little bit of December. I have Megacon in February. And then I have Lexington Comic Con in March. The due date is March 13th. Lexington Comic Con is a week before that. So that one is really up in the air. But before we get into that, let me talk about Megacon. I've gone back and forth. I've never thought about canceling. I have thought about maybe giving Bethany my other table because we, as far as everything, we should be right next to each other unless they change something. We were right next to each other last year and they usually keep it that way unless you want to change something. So 2 of our artist tables right next to each other. But this is my biggest convention. Usually that in Katsucon. And I will die with this convention table. I will not lose it because once you get out, you can't get back in. So my plan was to go. But I'm going to be about 8 months pregnant for sure around this time. And I can't fly, nor would I want to. And I'm going to be away from Joey. That's almost a week that I will be away from him. And the plan was I was just going to get Allie or Tia to come help me because I'll already have Bethany. But in my mind, I don't think I'm going to be able to do much of anything. I'm going to be more of like, this goes here, and then maybe I can take transactions. But for setup and like load in and breakdown, I don't think I'd be able to do anything based off what it's looked like for the last couple of conventions. Another concern that I've had with this is at 30 weeks, you have to take a glucose test. This is to check your sugar and to see if you're basically going to have gestational diabetes, which means you have diabetes while you're pregnant with the baby. And if that's the case, you do get it, you go from not a worrisome pregnancy, I guess, to more of an at-risk pregnancy of the baby like coming early or having problems with the baby. My mom had gestational diabetes with me. I don't think it's really a thing where it transfers, but I do have sugar drops. I'm not a diabetic, but I do have sugar crashes. Like if I eat pancakes in the morning, I usually don't make it to lunchtime before my sugar starts crashing, and I'll get really shaky and like tired, and I'll get the sweats, and I'm getting close to passing out, basically. I am worried that I might not pass the glucose test. So what they'll do is they'll take an hour-long one where you drink like a really sugary drink. They'll see how your sugar looks. If I fail that, I have to take a 3-hour one, which is a more in-depth. If I fail that one, then they're like, no sugar for you, no carbs, and don't go too far from home, basically. And that's what I was also worried about, because I was going to buy a plane ticket for Allie to fly, and then we'd pick her up from the airport and she could help me set up. But I don't want to buy a plane ticket if I'm not going to be there to pick her up. So I need to talk to Tia, Bethany, and Allie this week. But I think the plan is I'm not going to go, but I'm going to do my first proxy and have Tia sell for me. Tia has done Megacon before. She helped Bethany and I in 2021, which was the most profitable Megacon that we've done. It was like the busiest. It was really good. And she was there for it. She knows what Chaos Megacon is. She's a good seller. She's very extroverted. And her and Bethany, we're all college friends. So it's not like Bethany's going to be with a stranger. And then this way they can drive together to Florida. And because I was also worried about Bethany driving by herself. And then Allie doesn't have to fly in. So I'll do a breakdown of this is what the display looks like. Here's my list of inventory. And I'll try to make it the easiest and most accurate for her. But honestly, I'm not too worried. Bethany knows my stuff and knows what I do too. So I'm glad that she will also be there. But that's the plan. I have to talk to her. We've mentioned it before, but the last scenarios have been I will be there too. But in this scenario, I'm not going to be there, but I'll watch Tia's dog and be like, hey, I'll dog sit your dog for free if you'll go and sell for me, and I'll pay for your food. I'm going to still split hotel, split gas, and also the Universal thing, if they want to do that, I was like, I'll buy your ticket. And then, of course, I have to watch her dog for Thanksgiving, too. So I was like, I'm going to mention you don't have to pay me for that either if you just work for me. So I need to double check, but the only problems I could see is, like, with her work. But she did say before, as long as she has the dates, she should be okay. And this is helpful because my mom was also worried about me driving that far because it is a 12-hour drive. And when you get into your third trimester, blood clots are a lot more of a thing. So sitting for too long, and she was like, just make sure you get up and stretch a lot. So I won't have to worry much about that if I don't go. And also my biggest concern, because I was doing breakdown by myself at OmniCon, I just started thinking, what if I'm in Florida breaking down my display, or I go and I do too much and I go into labor. And I'm in Florida, luckily not by myself, but Joey's not here. This is our first baby. I'll be damned if I have this baby without him. So that would not be good. And if I had the least little bit of contractions or pain or something was wrong, I would be freaked out the whole weekend. So I was like, I don't want to risk it. So hopefully this is the plan. Hopefully this works. And Megacon usually doesn't mind the whole proxy situation either. Let's talk about Lexington Comic Con in Lexington, Kentucky. This is the last convention I'll have before the baby gets here, hopefully. It is March 7th, 8th, and 9th, I think, which is a week before the due date. The due date, which is a hypothetical, maybe the baby will be born. So, I have this like $1,000 table that I bought. I don't know why. I mean, I know why. I wanted to go big or go home, and I was like, why not this one? But I am regretting getting that big of a table now because it is a corner booth on the main floor. And I don't know if I'm going to be there. I've tried to message or email 2 times now. One time I emailed the person directly, just wondering if a refund was possible. And I heard nothing because I don't want to cancel my table unless I can get a refund. If I can't get a refund, or if they're like, yeah, we can roll over to next year, I don't want to do that. I will just take what I have, make my money back, and we'll figure it out. If I can't go, somebody else will go. It's only 2 hours away. And then I tried another time where I went through the website and went to contact info and typed it all out. And someone got back to me and said, we'll forward this to the people in charge of table booking. That's been another month now. Haven't heard anything. So, I guess I'm keeping the table. I just hope that they don't cancel my table and then I get there or they send out the map and I'm not on it, because I will be mad. Because nowhere did I say I want to cancel my table. I said I want to know the possibilities of a refund or what it will look like since I'm going to have a baby potentially around this time. What are my options? And I haven't heard anything. So, with this one, we're going to move forward. Luckily, Joey can go with me to this one. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I won't be going Thursday, as long as they don't say anything. But Thursday's a preview, so we can set up Friday and be fine. And Joey can go with me. And hopefully, Bethany can also go, because I did get a bigger table so that she could have one corner of it if she's not busy with work. Luckily, I have friends that live in Lexington, and Tia's not too far away either. And then I have people that are going to be selling there that have said that they will help me if needed. We talked to Nella and Pendragon at Anime Inc. and we're like, hey, if she goes into labor during this convention, can we contact one of you guys just to honestly just to pack things up at the end, and we'll have someone come and pick it up if we have to leave and drive back to the hospital. And they said, yeah, just to let them know that they were also having friends coming that were going to be there. So if they even needed someone to cover table for us, let them know. That is a relief. If the baby comes early, then depending on how I'm feeling, I might potentially still be able to go, and Joey can stay at home with the baby, and I can get one of my friends to come with me. And if I'm not feeling good, I can hopefully have some time to get that together. But if the baby comes after, we should be good, because I can just chill and not do anything and try to keep the baby inside me until the weekend's over. So the only big problem with that would be if I went into labor that weekend. But we hope that doesn't happen. Fingers crossed, so that we can get that birthday baby. But yeah, since that one's only 2 hours away, I'm like, it'll be okay. If she's born in Lexington, it'll be fine. All right, last topic is what to expect for 2025. This is going to be my list of conventions. This is going to be what I plan to do since I'm cutting back my conventions, and yeah. You good? Daisy just kicked the cabinet. Yes, what to expect for 2025. So, confirmed conventions for 2025, we already went over some of them. Megacon, Lexington Comic Con in March. Fanboy Knoxville is a new one that I'm doing. Bethany did it last year. And then let me just check and make sure I'm not missing anything else that is confirmed that I've paid for. Nope. Just those 3. And those are bigger ones. Oh, I totally forgot. I'm doing GalaxyCon in December. Which will be in my second trimester, but there'll be a vlog on that, so it'll be fun. I've applied for OMG Con, which is in June. So baby's due March, April, May, and then June. She'll be 3 months old by then, or somewhere around that. If I get into that, I think that will be a good starting point again. Hopefully. If you guys have had a baby and you think I'm wrong, please let me know. Or if you don't think, like, if it was a struggle for you to get back into the groove of things by then, like, if that's too soon, let me know. Please share how things went for you. I won't be offended if you're like, no. Yes, I do hope to get into OMG Con, because that is one of my favorite ones just to attend. If we don't get in and, like, say Bethany gets in again, like she did this year, I think we talked about maybe just going and attending and taking the baby, or potentially volunteering, but I'm not sure if they'll let us volunteer with a baby. I'm not worried about taking our baby out, traveling, getting in new environments. Like, I want her to be very travel, like, good. And I know it always depends, but I do want her to be okay around strangers. Like, you know, I don't want her to be a homebody, basically, because we travel so much, and that is, like, my job. I want, and not just her, but us too, I want to be able to navigate hotels, conventions with a baby and not be stressed. Like, oh my gosh, like, where is she gonna sleep? Like, I want to be the on-the-go mom. OMG Con, I of course will see if my mom wants to watch her too before, kind of depending on how we're feeling. If we're like, oh yeah, it's a good time for a little vacation, just mom and dad, I'm sure my mom would love to watch her. But it also depends on, like, if that's still too early, if I feel like with breastfeeding, you know, how all that's gonna go. And I did ask Bethany for this one and for Fanboy Knoxville, because we will be staying with her in the house for Fanboy Knoxville, and be like, if I bring a baby, are you okay with this? And of course she was fine. I just wanted to make her aware, could be crying baby in the middle of the night, are you okay with it? So, OMG Con's in June, Fanboy Knoxville is in July, so I for sure will have a convention in July. And then I do want to do more of the little conventions around my town and, like, surrounding towns when they have those fall festivals, but those are all in October. Potentially look into Scarefest or Anime Inc. again and sharing. Those are also in October. But yeah, that's all I have. It's hard to get more of, like, winter conventions, fall and winter conventions, because it's still fall. So no, we don't have a lot of release stuff for it. That's my lineup for next year, which is not a lot, since this year I did probably like around 13, including like the smaller events, which is kind of what I did the year before. And like we're gonna go down to like 3 or 4. But that is okay. We're gonna have a lot to do. It's not like we're gonna be bored by any means. But to make up for the money that I am missing from conventions, I'm definitely gonna try to do a lot more online stuff and really promoting my shop, and probably try to do like maybe a shop launch or like a shop drop. Maybe if the baby's coming a little later, right after Lexington, I might try to put up any inventory and try to get those out before the baby comes. Of course, I could have people help me with that if I need to. But, and then potentially looking into like wholesale. It wouldn't be technically wholesale unless people want to do like keychains or stickers, but mostly checking out local card shops, comic book shops, game shops that allow artists to put the stuff in their shop and like either do like a commission or a consignment based pay of some kind. I've talked to a few people. I actually just talked to one at the Omnicon convention, and he did seem really interested, so I'm hoping that's at least one guaranteed, and I'm going to reach out to him this week. But I'm hoping 2025 we can try to focus on getting my stuff in more like shop places that are more local, so I don't have to drive like super far. I'm not trying to like ship stuff, but Joey and I like going to card shops and stuff like that on the weekends anyways, so something like that where we can go and we can take the baby, check in, like, hey, here's the restock, or what do you think, you know, your people would like to see, and looking into that. So if you guys have any tips on that, let me know. I have had my Kirby's in like an anime figurine shop before when we lived in Delaware. It was Destination Anime in Middletown, Delaware, I believe. And that was really nice, especially when I first put it in. I had several sales, but after that it was kind of like once a month. But I also didn't rotate my inventory by any means. It was just Kirby's and like Ghostface and Smoliv or something. So I'm sure if I rotated stuff a little more, I could have made a little more money, but I was like an hour away, so I didn't get over there a whole lot. Again, if you guys have any tips on that, if you guys have any tips on any of this, please drop it in the comments below. If you want it to be more like private, feel free to message me directly on Discord or on Instagram. Greatly appreciate it. I don't know what to expect, you know, for the third trimester. I don't know what to expect for next year with the baby. All I know is line around sewing is going to have to take, you know, a back seat, but it's not going away. I'm still going to do the channel because I worked so hard on this channel and we finally got to where it is monetized and I don't want to lose that motivation that I have for it. Sorry, I'm trying not to get like emotional, but also it's fine. Pregnancy hormones. Yeah. Line around sewing's not going away. You will still see me. I'll still be doing conventions and maybe next year we can pick back up again. But that is all that I have right now. I do plan on doing more tutorials, hopefully, to get that, you know, static income, if that makes sense, where it's more long-term goals and releasing patterns. I want to get more into embroidery patterns and just stuff with embroidery in general, wholesale, and then, of course, conventions and online sales. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching this, and if you made it through the whole video, thank you so much. Feel free to drop a little baby in the comments down below if there's like a little baby emote. Let me know that you made it all the way, and I will stop talking now. Thank you guys so much again. Thank you for being a part of Line Around Sewing and just supporting me, because watching this video is supporting, commenting is supporting, buying from me is of course supporting, talking to me and chatting to me at conventions is supporting me because it makes me keep going. It gives me motivation. So I really appreciate you guys and you mean so much to me, and I look forward to the 2025 and the rest of this year. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye!